couple of years ago, a man called David made contact with the Scripture Union with a very special request. He had been married to his wife Valerie for many years, and they had shared everything, especially their faith. But as she developed dementia, he found that things that had previously been dear to her just slipped from her mind, like going to church, reading the Bible, praying together. And he felt so sorry that as her condition deteriorated, the God that she loved became very distant from her. She couldn't connect with the strength and the comfort which she needed then more than ever. Now, Valerie is one of about 800,000 sufferers of dementia in the United Kingdom at the moment. And that presents a challenge not just to the Christian community at large, but in particular to Scripture Union, who have responded by coming up with a very practical and inspirational resource called Being with God, aimed at use by carers working and living alongside dementia sufferers or those who are struggling with memory loss. Being with God is divided into these three separate books: Words of Hope, Words of Faith, and Words of Peace. And within each of the books are 31 daily devotionals, time with God. There's a very simple prayer. There's a familiar Bible passage or story. There's the Lord's Prayer, and there's also the opportunity to trigger reminiscences and memories from the past with a cues and clues box, which might be particular suggestions of areas to talk about, or perhaps pictures or objects that you might go and get and discuss. Anything to trigger memory and perhaps that connection again. And nothing is more evocative than music, and so each of the books has its own specially recorded CD with a song or a chorus for every single day along the theme which has been chosen. So imagine if you hear again a chorus of a Sunday school song you sang years ago with actions, you'd be amazed what kind of reaction that you get. There's also very clear guidelines to help the carer to make the most of the Being with God resource. Well, obviously Scripture Union could provide the expertise for all the biblical material and prayers, but they did need to bring in experts of other sorts, in particular Margaret Goodall, who worked on the project from the very beginning. She's the chaplaincy advisor for MHA, Methodist Homes for the Aged, and she brought a whole wealth of experience of working with and worshipping with dementia sufferers in her work. Also, the Christian Council on Aging, which exists to support Christians as they become elderly. Well, even before Being with God was launched, there was a very positive endorsement and reaction from all sorts of professional quarters, and also from the Archbishop of Canterbury himself, who saw it as a wonderful facility for Christians, either supporting dementia sufferers in their own families or in their own congregations. But sadly, Being with God arrived too late to help David and his wife Valerie. But David couldn't be more proud that her need has led to this wonderful resource being available to other dementia sufferers to help them to reconnect with their faith, with their Bible, and with the God who has never stopped loving them. Well, if you would like to know how to get a copy of Being with God, the details are on screen now.